DeCastro shows off changes in new LA audit. In perhaps the most boring audit ever produced, leaving his most ardent fans searching for anything positive to say about his work, Chille DeCastro released on Monday an audit featuring an apparent homeless man being apprehended by police in downtown Los Angeles. DeCastro's video featured a dark-haired man who towered over the 6 or 7 police officers surrounding him. He was already in handcuffs at the start of DeCastro's video and was screaming that he wanted to go home to his daughter. The video editor hired by DeCastro randomly sliced pictures of DeCastro making faces at the camera, apparently attempting to look like he was concerned for the man's well-being. DeCastro would later complain that holding up 2 phones was difficult as he was still out of shape from his time in jail earlier this year. Eventually, DeCastro made his pitch for digital detainment, wondering why the man was in torture cuffs despite knowing the man was being apprehended for assault with a deadly weapon and was screaming at the police. DeCastro eventually seemed pleased when the police took the man to be identified by a witness and the witness apparently failed to identify him. His happiness was short-lived as the officer still put the man in the back of a squad car and took him to jail. The video was an example of DeCastro's new conflict-free style of auditing, as some of his viewers have complained that DeCastro was effectively neutered by his jailing earlier in the year. His great fear of being arrested again has seen him change his approach to auditing and interacting with police. For example, he no longer screams that he is a constitutional law scholar as if it holds some authority and no longer insults and degrades officers to their faces. Those who are used to him confronting police or interjecting himself upon a police action were disappointed as he stayed 5 feet away from the scene and treated the officers on scene with respect. Other viewers have complained that DeCastro talks a good game behind his computer screen or in the presence of his few actual friends, calling for the death of police officers and making degrading and humiliating comments towards them but then turning around and being friendly and cordial to them to their faces. The practice, they say, again, gives into the idea that DeCastro is a paper tiger and no longer is worth the investment of time and money, as he no longer provides the entertainment value he once did when his actions backed up his words. This is apparent as DeCastro has claimed that he is shadow banned by YouTube and that there are large swaths of people, he has 625,000 subscribers after all, who want to view his videos but can't due to a ban. But this doesn't explain why DeCastro is doing so poorly on the new YouTube channels he opens, let alone on non-YouTube platforms. A recent video that he pulled from YouTube, for example, is still live on Twitter and only had 43 views as of press time, even though it's the only way to see the video. With DeCastro's failure to meet a promised Christmas 2024 release for his Constitutional Law Scholar board game, his self-neutering with his absolute fear of going back to jail, and his rapidly aged and degraded body as he hit 50 and it shows, 2024 may be ending with DeCastro old, forgotten and penniless as he pretends otherwise. This is a continuing news story.